With me right now is Board President of United, Juanita Skillman, and of course, we're right in the middle of that time of the year, elections.
We are.
And you folks have 4 openings, or will have 4 openings on the board, and there are 7 candidates, and the whole point is vote. It's simple as that.
Well, it is important.
Yeah, of course.
Even if you only vote for one candidate or
Right.
2 candidates, or, God forbid, you don't want to vote for any candidates.
Yeah.
Return your ballot because we need the quorum,
Yeah.
a certain number of ballots returned. So don't throw it away. Please don't give it to somebody else to fill out. Just send it back, and if there's ones that you don't know or you just know 1 or 2, you can just vote for those, and it works really well.
You know, it's interesting how you folks have a quorum, as does Third and all, but our state doesn't. If you only had 10% vote, okay, that's it.
That's what
Maybe
we get.
we should. I don't know.
Maybe that would work better, yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyway, they have to be back by the 26th, which is a week from next Wednesday.
Yep.
And then we count the votes on that Friday, the 28th.
Right.
And then our annual meeting is coming up. In October, we don't have a business meeting. We only have our annual meeting, and we
Right.
go over what we've done, and we thank the couple people that are leaving. Pat English and Don Tibbetts are both going off the board because they're term limited. You can only do
Right.
2 in a row, and so we are definitely going to miss them. And then we'll have a little slideshow about what we've done for the last year, kind of get people up to it, and then our first business meeting will be in November.
All right, very good.
But we did have a business meeting this month.
Yes, you did.
And the big thing, I just wanted to encourage people, if you did not see the meeting live, check it on the reruns or go on YouTube and look at it.
Right.
One of our directors on VMS, Director Anthony Liberatore, gave a fantastic update, and it's well worth seeing. So take a minute and look at that. We had the usual consent calendar, couple of architectural alterations, and 5 liens. Liens are when you don't pay your assessments for a certain amount of time and a certain amount, and then we place a lien on your unit. But the big thing that we did was we passed the business plan, also known as the budget, and the reserve funding plan. And that's primarily what I talked about last month when we had it. But just to recap, everybody's dues and assessments will be going up $9.53 per manor per month. Now that comes out to about $120 a year. And for all that we have to do, particularly with our infrastructure, that's barely a 2% raise.
Right.
And so people's basic assessment will now be $568.99. And I hear people, well, mine is a couple of $100 over that. Well, that's property taxes. This is the basic assessment, and it includes $5.27 that goes to United and $4.26 that goes to GRF to keep up all of the amenities. And then anything above that $568.99 is property taxes.
Right.
And those vary. There's no standard for those. It depends on when it was last assessed, when it was last sold, any upgrades that you've done to it. They're all very different. So it was an 8-3 vote on both of those resolutions. And I'd like to correct one thing that was in the Globe yesterday.
Okay.
They said that Director Carl Randosa voted against it, and he did not. It was Director Armendariz that voted against it. So,
can I mention something for the new people here, new people in United? When it comes to the property taxes, United the Mutual pays the taxes, but everyone pays their own amount, as you just explained.
Right.
They don't pay it individually.
We don't.
So people understand
but
that.
It's divided out under over 12 months.
Yeah.
Our finance department gets a bill from the assessors, and we add that to your monthly assessment. And again, it varies from unit to unit to unit.
Right.
But instead, a third does not include it in their assessment, and so they get a big property assessment bill once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And we find it easier to spread it out over the whole year.
Right. For
me
me personally, I kind of do that because I pay my mortgage, but in the mortgage is my escrow account. So the bank pays that once or twice a year, so I don't have to worry about it. It's all taken care of.
Well, it is much easier, and it's not a shock.
Yes.
Whoa, when I get this property tax bill.
I just not worry about it.
Right. So we were very pleased. Now, there were 3 other financial things that we did that I wanted to talk about and explain. We did a supplemental appropriation for an emergency panel replacement. Maintenance and our VMS had found a couple of our electrical panels on the side of a building that were so rotted out.
Right.
And the way they found them is they keep getting shorts. They kept getting outages in their electricity. And when they checked them, they found these are absolutely rotted out.
Yeah.
And so we had to change those, but those were not in our budget. So those came out of our supplementary reserve funds, which is why we have the reserve funds. And another one was an emergency paving repair. We're in the process of doing quite a bit of paving. And they found one, I believe it was cul-de-sac 39, where the ground had shifted and sunk. And so they had to do quite a bit of repair rather than just doing the paving over. And then the third one was we were asked for a early release from the 2019 budget of monies for waistline replacement. And this is a good thing. It meant that we keep pushing. Let's get this done. We want it. We changed it from a 12-year plan to a 6-year plan, but now we find that the contractor is really moving ahead on this, and he would have finished everything he was supposed to do in 2018 by the end of this month. And so there were no funds to keep going. Well, I don't want him to stop for 3 or 4 months and then start again in January. So we did a supplemental appropriation to keep him going. Because we had put quite a bit more money in it for next year, knowing that we wanted to accelerate this program. We had some alteration standards, as we always do. And we, as a board, approved moving ahead with a resolution to interpret the GRF bylaws, something that's been very, not so much controversial, but a little misunderstood. The corporate members wanted a little bit more control over the spending of GRF, and this clarified what is a facility, how you could do it, what you could do without having to come to the corporate members, which are the housing mutuals, for approval. We also had something that I thought was very interesting. We had to do a resolution banning residents from entering dumpsters. Now, to me, this seemed like common sense, but we have people who go around, sometimes for the best reason in the world, and collect the things out of the recycle bin, cans, bottles, whatever, turn them in. Some of them were giving the money to charity, whatever. And then we had some people that were also collecting all the newspapers coming through. But it's a risk management thing. If anything happens to them while they're going in those dumpsters, we pay. It's our fault. And so we had to say, no, don't do that. Don't go through the dumpsters. We had 5 items that were from the August meeting that had to go for 30 days. And again, there wasn't 30 days between the August meeting and the September meeting. And since we don't have a business meeting in October, we are calling a special meeting on September 26th at 9:30 in the boardroom to do final adoption of these things that we moved forward from the August meeting. And one of those is defining better harassment, nuisance, and clutter policies. And there are a couple of architectural standards. We're also going to talk about the golf golf cart plug-in fee, and another standard on window covers. Now, the golf carts are a concern. We have a energy committee that is great, that is working on those. And what we're finding is we get more and more people who are getting electric cars.
Right.
It started out, there were just one or two. And then we got quite a few hybrids, and now we're getting the full electric cars. Well, even if you pay the $240 to be able to plug them in your carport, they break the breakers all the time.
Yeah.
And the same way if you have too many golf carts, because it's only so far that the infrastructure doesn't handle it. So we're looking at how we can do that, how we can upgrade the infrastructure, how we can put in other electrical, et cetera, so that we could accommodate, because we think that's only going to get bigger.
Right.
More and more people are getting electric cars. In our Energy Task Force, some of the things that we've done this year that I'm really proud of is our lighting updates. We have put LED lighting in all of our installations, both the bollards for the walkway lighting and our carports and everything, which has really saved us quite a bit of money in electricity. 47 new walkway lights were installed. When people have a black, dark area and they think they would like a walkway lighting, there is a form. They can come in. It can be requested, and we do approximately 3 a month to add new walkway lighting. The only difficulty is if there's no way to get electricity to it. If we have to trench, put in new electrical lines, then usually it's not feasible. We also, and we hope to get Friday of this week, our final thing from JCI, but our wonderful maintenance department was able to tell us that we generated 991 million watts, and we need 991,000 watts, and we need 1 million. So we're very close, to generating from our solar project what we need for our common area. It has nothing to do with the residences, but our common area.
Yeah, so pretty
lighting.
close.
So we're pretty close, and that's a very successful program. We replaced 600 Pushmatic electric panels, ones that we are updating from the old ones in there. And we have 13,000 that we needed to do, and we've done 600 so far. And we have much more to do this next year, and we have budgeted for it. We took some of these big projects like the Pushmatic electrical panels and the waistline remediation and the copper piping, et cetera, and we took it out of our operation budget, which is an annual budget, and we put it into reserves, so that, like with this walkway lighting, with the waistline remediation, if we get ahead of ourselves and we want to do more, we're not stopped because it's an annual budget. It's in the reserves, and we can continue to do it. But that also means that we have to replenish the reserves.
Right.
You can't keep taking out and not put back in. So that was one of the things that we looked at as well.
And getting a lot of these projects done sooner, not only, let's face it, it's going to save money one way or the other, either from repairs or the fact that the cost to have that done will go up. It's not going to go down.
No, it's not going to go down. Everything goes up.
Yeah.
So when we held our budget at 2%, I thought that was really good, because that's the CPI is much more than that.
Yeah.
And I think we're very fiscally responsible.
Right. Yeah.
The main thing, one of the other things I wanted to talk about, though, is insurance. We've had a couple of incidents in the last couple of weeks, and it's just so sad. We try to tell everybody, and there's something in their escrow package. We ask realtors and escrow to emphasize it, but some do, some don't. United has insurance that covers the buildings and the common area. But anything inside your unit, particularly if it's an alteration, we do not cover. And these last 2 incidents were a downstairs units where the upstairs unit had a leak, a flood, and it affected their unit, and they had to go out for a few days while we fixed it. And one of them had to replace hardwood floors, and they were just decimated that they had to pay for this because they didn't have insurance. Everybody in the unit, in the United, should have HO6 insurance, and you should make sure that it covers loss of use. If you have to be out of your unit for any length of time, it pays the hotel bills.
Right.
It pays for you to go somewhere. And then if you want your own earthquake insurance, we have earthquake insurance for the mutual, but it does not cover interiors of any kind. So anything that happens in your unit, in your personal belongings and all that good stuff, you need to have insurance for. So
Right.
we keep saying, please, please get insurance. And when I get these cases like these last two we had, I just felt so sorry for them, but there was nothing they could do because they had not gotten any insurance.
And it's not very expensive.
It's not
it,
very
It can be as little as maybe $15, $20 a month. So, and consider what that poor person had to pay for new flooring.
Right.
That was, like less than one room of flooring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And often, if it's from an upstairs unit down, it means the walls or ceilings have to be replaced.
Right.
And there may be mold, and if there's mold, then they definitely have to be out of the unit while we remediate that and get everything fixed. So all we're saying is, please, 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 people, look at insurance. There's many different kinds. We don't say you have to have this or that. There's a standard called HO6, Homeowners Policy 6, that all insurance agents know about. Talk to your insurance agent and see what you need.
Yeah.
You might need a little bit more if you've done a lot of redecorating and a lot of alterations in your unit and things like that, as opposed to the standard. So your insurance agent can help you with that, but you really, really need it. And last but not least, our two bills that we have put through the legislature are on the governor's desk. We have sent a number of letters. We're really hoping he's going to sign them and sign them fair. And those are things like changing the 30-day notice to 28 so that we will definitely go from month to month.
Right.
Allowing people to opt in to get a lot of the materials that we send them, especially twice a year, electronically instead of in paper. We're going to save a lot of trees. So there's just a number of things that we felt were really important that we would like to see that bill signed. And I'm very proud of VMS for what they have done, and particularly Brad Hudson in lobbying for us up in Sacramento and getting some of these things through instead of just saying, yeah, we can't do it, the state says no. So we're getting the state to make some changes.
All right, well, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
Very good. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
And once again, you got to get your vote in.
Get your ballot in, please.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah,
all right, we will see you
absolutely.
next time.
Thank you,
take care, and remember next month their meeting will be on the regular
Second Tuesday
date and time. However, it will be an annual meeting.
It will be a very special meeting, but it won't be a business meeting.
Right. All right. You take care.
Okay.
We'll be
Thank
back.
you.